Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 5, A Dog's Breakfast. So we're just going to get on into it. Dog's Breakfast, you know what? This episode sort of should have been called for Happily Ever After, considering we seen Jasmine drink out of her dog's water or whatever. But anyway, I digress. The first couple I want to talk is Anthony and Manon. So they only have one scene in this episode. They went to go play some I forget what the name is. It looked like some kind of bocce type thing where you roll the ball and hit other balls and get some points, whatever, and everything. Like her, Anthony, and their son, and Manon's family went out to play that. And then Manon had a talk with her parents, and I guess she had mentioned that her parents even made her at times feel a little insecure when she was younger, and then she tried to do that move to the United States and then come back, and then so she broke down just talking about all her insecurities and everything. And her parents just basically told her, as long as you're happy within yourself, who cares what other people think? And frankly, that is the best advice you can give. For someone like Manon who's really struggling, with insecurities and everything, she really needs a lot of words of encouragement. Now, do I think she's a little over dramatic throughout the season? 100% yes. But for someone who also has little insecurities and struggles with self-esteem, I understand how she feels when it comes to stuff like that and everything. So I am glad that, I'm hearing other people have been reaching out to her and giving her some words of encouragement to, say, hey, look, you're beautiful the way you are, stand strong and everything. Now, how she's acting on the show, not a fan, but I do think that people who are going through insecurity issues needs a lot of positive reinforcement. So yeah. But yeah, that was basically all we've seen from Anthony and Manon. So yeah, move on. Next couple I want to talk is Luke and Madeline. Luke and Madeline, as we know what happened last week, they went with the wedding planner. Now, this wedding planner is also Madeline's budgeter, pageant coach, life coach, you name it, she is, and everything. So Luke and Madeline are kind of short on stuff for the wedding, and they're trying to they have 2 days to pay everything. The wedding's $4,000. Luke only has $3,000, and they got into a big fight last week because apparently some money wasn't sent. Luke says he sent Madeline money, and Madeline saying she didn't, or he didn't, or she used it on something else. Madeline says she didn't. And, like I said last week, somebody is lying, basically. And Madeline got offended because Luke said that she thinks that Luke is saying that she's stealing, basically, when she didn't. So I don't really know who to believe. So they had to come to a conclusion, look, if we got 2 days to pay this, we have to take something out. So they decided to take out some dancers and some marachis or whatever and everything, so they can have enough to afford everything they have for the wedding, basically. So Luke and Madeline disagree on that, and they start arguing in front of the wedding planner. And the wedding planner is every time I see clients, they never argue and everything. This is the first time I really seen a couple who's about to get married argue and everything. So this is, they have these disagreements now. What are they going to be when they get married, basically, and everything. And I really hope they can work out their issues. So Luke and Madeline go back to the apartment or whatever. Luke is just tired. He had just got to Columbia that day. He hadn't get no rest. He comes in right into the wedding planning stuff and everything. So he just wants to rest. He's laying in bed. Madeline's like, do you think I want to sleep with you tonight after you accuse me for stealing? And Luke was just like, I'm tired. I had a long day. If you want me to sleep on the couch, I can, but I'm just tired and everything. So it's up to you whether you want me to sleep with you or not. And Madeline just said, it's whatever and everything. And I mean, that's all we've seen of Luke and Madeline. Judging by the previews, we'll see what we got to see in the trailer next week when Madeline throws the food and glasses at him and everything on her date. So, yeah, talk about extra. So, yeah, that was Luke and Madeline. Next couple I want to talk is Johnny and Chloe. Now, Johnny and Chloe decided to go on a date, and Johnny, Chloe and Johnny, as we all know, met on that pirate ship that Johnny works for, and now Johnny is like starting to like get over that and like really like. I think he did quit his job. Well, not he didn't like quit, but he's like on the verge of really quitting to start something else since he's got Chloe with them now. He wants to open his business basically, and but he's still, his heart is still like with the pirate ship or whatever. It's kind of like a Jessica and Juan situation a little bit. Now, Chloe met Johnny on that pirate ship, and Chloe made a judgment that he's around girls with like little these like G string outfits on, and they're drunk all the time and everything. I'm like, Chloe, that's how you met him. How you gonna call all of these girls like with the skimpy clothes and drunk all the time when that was you? Hello, like, and everything. So they went out to dinner and they were discussing that and everything. And Johnny is saying, well, first you met me off of that. Secondly, you can't expect me to like change who I am for you and everything. Like he said, his ex made him do that a lot and everything. And she was like, I'm not asking you to put in your 2 weeks right now or anything. I'm just saying when you're on the ship and like people start flirting with you, you need to tell them that you have a girlfriend basically, and that's it and everything. And and I think that like when you're in that kind of industry, like you're afraid to do that only because like you may not get tipped as much as you normally would. I think that like I think there's a difference. People like to say, oh, they're flirting, whatever. It's just being friendly and make. I've been on one cruise, and the staff that I had on the cruise was phenomenal. I didn't get personal with them. I didn't fall in love with them. Only well, one I'm taken anyway, but I didn't get too personal with them. Like a couple of them I asked where they're from and stuff and everything, but they're there to work and they're there to make our lives really fun and comfortable and less stress. So I see Johnny's point with it, and I don't want to go too, and I don't think it's like wise to get too personal and everything, because the people who work on like cruise ships and I guess in his case pirate ship, 9 times out of 10 they actually live like on there, and they're only off for like 4 months out of the year, basically. And then the 4 months that they're off, they're home with their families. So I mean, it's kind of confusing now. Johnny said that he wants to start a business with Chloe. He's trying to figure out what kind of business they could start and see where they could get the money to get a business going and everything. And he wants Chloe to be part of it and everything. So he has plans, but I don't know how much it will fall through because Chloe is still in, Johnny is worried that Chloe is still in like vacation mode all the time and everything. And Chloe, she had a good job with her mother and everything, but still has a lot at her young age, she has a lot to learn basically. So I don't know. I think right now they're both asking a little bit too much right now and everything. They need to really get accustomed to each other and to the culture on both sides to really figure out where to go from here. But I just thought that whole conversation was so hypocritical of Chloe to say that, oh, you're around these girls with these bikinis and they're drunk. That was you. Hello. Just saying. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, that was Chloe and Johnny. Next couple I'm going to talk is Jenny and Submit. So I thought we had made some progress, like with Submit's family, or at least with the mom and dad. We made some progress with them accepting Jenny being with Submit despite the age gap. They had like a little like party, like a little like like cultural tradition thing, where for Jenny and Samantha, like some kind of like housewarming party in their culture or whatever, and they had the entire extended family over, and they they were like Cement's aunt came, which is Cement's mom's sister, and they were painting stuff. Like Jenny had to put a thing like on her head and walk around and stuff. She got it dropped a little bit. She was dressed up, and Cement's mom was happy that she was dressed in Indian attire. She's like, "You look like an Indian woman now." Jenny was like, "Oh, thanks." So they do that, and then and then Cement's aunt comes over, and she just starts drama right away. Um, like like Jenny and Cement and Cement's brother's wife Cherie were like painting some flowers or whatever and everything, and Cement's aunt was saying like, "You're not doing it right. It's not good or whatever," and everything. And Jenny was getting mad at her. She's like, why you up in my business? Why you in my grill?" Basically, and everything. Like, back away, basically, and everything. And then she was just talking to Cement's mom about how you gonna accept this, like you ruin like with their age gap and everything. And Cement had to go over to and talk to his aunt. It's like, look, you're really on the age gap. She's like, yeah, like how do you think society and people are gonna think? They don't care about society and what people think. They are old, and I don't understand why they care about that. They are old, I mean, culture or not. Y'all are old. All of y'all are old. Why do y'all care what everybody is thinking? Basically, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Submit tried to explain like, she's the good girl for me, and this was funny. He said good girl, and then his aunt was like, she's not a girl. She's not a girl. And Summit's like, okay, she's the best woman for me, basically. She's like, she's older than me. Like, so who cares? Submit's father had to get in there and say, look, he's had girls his age before and they didn't work out. He's with her now and they're happy. And him and Submit were trying to say, like, the marriage is already done. We are happy. And, they're talking. And then when they were making the flowers, basically, Submit's mom was trying to help him with something, and then Submit's aunt comes up and grabs her mom, and says, "Nah, get up," and everything. And we're like, why are you taking mom away? Come on now. I know they sisters, but still, like, come on, like, what are we doing here? And so they were talking, and even Submit's mom was like, my son is happy now. Yes, I had a hard time for a while. I did kick him out the house and everything when we first found all this out and everything. But, my husband talked some sense into me, and I accepted. They're happy now, basically. So, and then the aunt was just like, well, you ruined him. You ruined him. I'm just like, this is just so rude. Poor Jenny. And Jenny jumped in and she was like, y'all are still on our age gap and everything. And Submit's trying to actually, for once, Submit was actually defending it. Normally Submit just sits there with it looking like a deer in headlights, but he actually was defending her and everything. And Jenny just had to go to the other room and just cool off because, yeah, like who the heck is this aunt? Basically, so I don't know. Submit's family, man, they are really overprotected, but I don't know why the aunt is all involved in everything because she's just the aunt. It's not like she's living with her and everything. Like, she's like, I would never accept Jenny. I'm like, okay, we don't need you to accept Jenny. I don't need your approval. I'm only focused on Submit and his mom and dad. That's all. That's all I need. I don't need the extended family and stuff. Shoot. So yeah, I just so ignorant, just really ignorant. Yes, I understand this age gap is a little bit much. They are 30 years apart. Yes, she's old enough to be his mom. I understand that, but as I always said, once you're once you're legal grown, age is just a number. It would be different if we're under 18 and there was an age gap, relationships and everything. Then that's a different story, different topic. But I feel like once you're grown, legally grown, and all that, age is just a number. And if they're happy, they treat each other right. Who are we to judge? Okay, so they can't give them grandkids. Who cares? Who cares? You already got a grandkid. You don't need a grandkid from him. Like, I have two sisters who have 4 kids. and I don't have any kids. My parents ain't pressuring me to get a kid. They're for them to have a ninth grandchild. Like they already have grandkids. Would they want one for me? Yes, but are they pressuring me for it? No. So I just wish Submit's family would be kind of like that. That's just my opinion on that. But anyway, that was Jenny and Submit. And the last couple I want to talk is Greta and Matthew. So Greta, as we know, last week in an emotional moment, she had to say goodbye to her cat Hazel as she gets ready to move to England to be with Matthew. And she's still really hesitant because Matthew hasn't tried anything to find an apartment on their own yet. But Greta arrives to England and Matthew picks her up. He's all excited. First thing Matthew says, she gets off of the train and everything. And he was like, yeah, I can tell you've been traveling a lot because you stink. And Greta was like, thanks. I was just lugging all this luggage, six bags of luggage all over the place. So thanks. Now, that's rude. Come on, man. Now, there ain't no culture moments in this one because England and United States are a little bit like allies, so kind of the same. If somebody tells me the first thing if my fiance says when I get off of a long flight and a long train to come see you, the first thing she says is that I stink, I'm turning myself back and going back home. I'm like, I have moved all the way over here for you. And the first thing you're going to tell me is this, I stink. No, duh, I stink. I haven't been able to shower. I've been on an airplane and I've been on trains all for the last 30 hours or whatever. But she let that pass. And she's better than me. She let that pass. And they go to the, they drive home, basically. They drive back. They go... Matthew lives in this really nice rural area, it's kind of like a cottage type area, and it's really private. It's really nice and everything. And Greta says that she really likes old people style things, but maybe not this old yet. She's like she does like the city type lifestyle, but this will do. So she gets to the house. She was greeted by the dog and the cat. She goes straight after Matthew's cat and everything. And she goes up to the bedroom. The bedroom is super small. And so and apparently Matthew did not do any kind of preparation to prepare for Greta's arrival. He did not have any drawers ready. He did not create any kind of space. He didn't she has 7 pairs of shoes that she needs to put somewhere. He did not do anything to prepare her for coming here. And that is sad. Greta is just really surprised. She actually had to go through his drawer and put some clothes in a bag to sort them out later so she could put her stuff in. She even kicked Matthew out of his room to figure out where she's going to put everything because he didn't do nothing. It was just literally he was just not expecting her at all. He did absolutely nothing. And I felt really bad for Greta in that moment. You left your cat and everything for this. This better be worth it. I hope they figure this out because I really feel bad and everything. So yeah, he did absolutely nothing. So yeah. So, judging by the previews of next week, we're finally going to meet the final couple, Patia and I forget what's his name, Dane, Dale, or something. I forget what Greg. I think his name is Greg. Patia and Greg. I think we'll meet them next week. I guess she's a little older and he's a young Australian guy from Tasmania or whatever. So we're finally going to meet them next week. So finally. But yeah, that was basically it. Besides them, we did see everybody in this episode. I'm still struggling with these 1 hour episodes. It's hard to fit a long video into a 1 hour episode like I do for the regular 2 hour episodes. So, but we make it do what it do. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, to my new subscribers, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy my content. Remember, we got Married at First Sight coming back in a couple weeks, so I'll be recapping that. But until then, I'll be back on next week to recap 90 Day Happily Ever After. So until then, y'all have a great week, and I'll see y'all again soon. Love you guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I love you guys. Bye, y'all.